Bomba! Ray Collazo, your host of Bomba Live, the talk show you've been waiting for. Thank you so much for joining us. You have to subscribe to Bomba Live on YouTube and anywhere. And I mean anywhere. You can download a podcast so you don't miss 1 second, un minutito of these insightful and entertaining conversations con Bomba. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, subscribe to Bomba Live anywhere. You can download a podcast. And as you all know, we on these presente segments and episodes of Bomba Live, we just love being Latino so much, and we love being, in my case, Puerto Rican so much, and we love our culture so much that we just wallow in all of it. We just had an episode with Cristina Vega, the Philly salsera, talking about salsa music and the culture of salsa. And as we're going through the day to day and the headlines and connecting with like our great friends that we're bringing on the show, back on the show by popular demand in a second, you know, not only are there hot topics in the género as it relates to the comings and goings of people's personal relationships, but also, and we're going to talk about this later in the show, Billboard magazine put out a very provocative, some would say maddening list that we had to address and bring out the Bomba Live version of. So when we talk about these hot topics in the world of el género, música urbana, and reggaeton, and just what's going on with Latinos in the street and what we're talking about in the salones de belleza and the barbershops, who else but my personal barber in the 305, my man Jersey, and one of the great social media commentators out there, my main man J3rzy. What's up, Pop?
What up, what up, what up? ¿Cómo tú estás?
I'm doing better now that we actually, a little behind the curtain, me and Jersey I had the honor of hanging out with J3rzy himself in person in the 305. So Jersey, first of all, I appreciate your brother, your friendship, your brotherhood, and you invite me out that night. And why don't you tell people real quick about the Miami Improv and the comedian we went out to support?
Well, the Miami Improv, I've been there a few times. It's always great vibes, great energy, really talented people. We went to see my boy Jay Moreno, another fellow Jersey Rican from Newark like me. But this time he was headlining. Usually when I go see him, he's like the opener because it's like his show, and then the rest of the comedians are just people that he knows personally. Pero esta vez fue algo especial because he was the one headlining, so it was a little bit different. But we had a good time. I mean, it was in Doral City Place, which for those of you that don't know, it's a section in Miami. What did you think about it?
I had a wonderful time. You told me a lot about your man. So I've been following Jay on social media, the whole Brick City. I got a lot of good memories hanging out. We were probably hanging out in Newark at the same time many years ago and didn't even know each other. So I like this style, I like this flavor. He was really gracious. We took some pictures and hung out with him and his family at the end of the show. And it was a pretty strong lineup, different comedians, mostly Latinos, I think, for the most part. So it was a different vibe being in a comedy club in Miami, because usually when you're in Miami, you're not thinking about comedy, but there is a nice comedy scene down there. I'm just waiting for you to get back on the comedy stage. You know what I'm saying? When are you going back on there?
Bueno, I mean, let's see what happens, because, I mean, remember I've told you, like, I've never done stand-up comedy. I mean, me and my friend Funky, which, if you guys watch Bomba Live, you've seen her face on here before, too. We opened up 2 shows, but, like, we weren't really telling jokes. We were just, like, ¿cómo te digo? Just breaking the ice, getting the crowd, ready for the actual show. But we were
that's how it starts, bro.
We were still making it laugh, though.
Yeah, no doubt. So Jay's wonderful meeting you. Another amazing highlight for me was to be able to meet our other guest. And you got to follow Mundo's Trap. I mean, this woman is if you want to know what's going on in the streets with the music world and our culture, you gotta keep up with this woman, entrepreneur, media personality, la estrella de TikTok. Yessi smiles his back. What's going on, Yessi?
Hey, what's up?
Yessi, it was incredible to meet you as well. Y'all were so cool about it. You know what's nice about, and I met Funky Bacalao, speaking of Ivelisse, I met her also on that trip to Miami earlier that day, actually. And also Melky, shout out Melky Zakuana, that's a friend of all y'all's, is that how, like, you think with social media and stuff that when you actually meet the people that you got to know online that it's weird, but it wasn't weird at all. Maybe it was weird for you, Yessi, I don't know, but it was like, it's like we had met before. Like I said, Yessi.
Sí, ese fue el vibe. Like, as soon as we saw each other, nos dimos abrazos, kiss, y empezamos a hablar como si no hemos conocido la vida completa.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. Yessi, before we get into some, I do want to later on in the show, We're gonna address this reggaeton pyramid, and the género pyramid, what have you, because Billboard magazine really kind of set us all off with that interesting list of
Yeah.
top 50 Latino raperos. But I do want to get your questions on. We've actually had some music come out to talk about some of the ends of these relationships that have broken all of our hearts on some level. Before we get into that, to catch people up about Mundo's Trap and what's going on your social media platforms.
So pretty much we're rebranding Mundo's Trap. We're trying to make it a little bit more international. We're working with people in Europe at the moment, and we're trying to expand the Mundo's Trap Europe brand. So that's what's been going on with Mundo's at the moment.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Before we get into our choices for the Piramide del Género in the second segment of the show, I did want to catch up, particularly you, Yessi, because last time we all spoke, we were in the midst of gossip mania, bochinche mania with Tekashi, Eileen, Anuel, trolling, Carol G, Fed, lo que sea. And since we spoke, Carol G, let's start with her. She sort of perked up with her track Mi Ex Tenía Razón on her new album. So what was your interpretation? This song, I wasn't expecting this song. I guess I should have been. But she seemed to sort of give Anuel a little bit of a nod. I don't know. What's your break people down on your interpretation of this song?
Bueno, I actually got a leak of the song before it was released, and I even, like, when I did the video, I even told people, listen, I'm not sure if this is the song, because with so much technology that we have today, it could be AI. It turned out to be the song. Before I even knew that it was, I kind of told the people que tenía como una cumbia feel. And when she posted it, I was correct, because she said que esta canción era como una, oh my gosh, como una dedicatoria a Selena. So I had that feel. The song, she did say when she was interviewed that her breakup with Anuel was the inspiration of both albums. So for sure, tuvo que ver mucho el breakup con ella y Anuel, which we kind of all knew already.
Yeah. So what were you surprised by kind of the tone of it? Because, what was your interpretation of the song?
I think it was very well written. I wasn't expecting like what she said. However, I did love it. Y te da como a sense of hope that, okay, yeah, my ex told me that I would not find otro como él, but I found somebody way better than him. So I really loved the interpretation of the song.
Jersey, in this whole situation, I don't want to say you've been Anuel's apologist. I'm not saying that, but you've kind of helped spin the situation, kind of related to him. So after you heard this track, because I know you've been, is this another? Let me put it this way, Jersey. Is this another example of Anuel still helping Karol G's career in an odd way by giving her material for her music? This is like a Latina Taylor Swift kind of situation.
Pues claro, because imagine si Anuel no hubiera sacado esa canción mejor que yo, she would have never came out with that song or any song similar to that. I guarantee you, because you can't come out with fire unless somebody throws fire at you first. You can't fire back. You know what I'm saying? Lo que pasa es que Karol G does it in a more respectful way, as La Caro Rangers be defending her and saying she doesn't mention names. But come on, bro, we all know it's about Anuel. Like whatever. Don't get me started. I just like how
that's the whole purpose of Bomba Live, is to get you started, Jersey. What's going on? Break it down. That's why we're here.
A mí me gusta como
existe.
A mí me gusta como existe la doble moral. Oh, but she could do it, but he can't. Oh, sorry. You know, man. But whatever. So if Anuel would have never came out with that, she would never came out with that, man. But maybe this might be the end of the songs dedicated to each other. Hopefully it is, because after a while it gets kind of old. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Say what else?
Yeah, really. Yeah, since y'all were on the show, like I thought there was going to be like a gang fight in Santo Domingo between all the characters, and Takashi
Oh
wasn't allowed to be. Were you down there for those award shows, Yessi? Were you in Puerto Rico for that?
no, I had people over there like
Yeah,
blowing up
of
my
course,
phone.
of course.
I'm here asking what the hell is going on, and I they told me things I can't say, but it was a lot of drama. It was
Yeah.
a lot of drama.
Well, I got it on the. Well, I had a couple people on the island too. I had somebody that was there, and then also I was talk about all that drama in the middle of during that whole time in between. That's why y'all got to come more and more because there's so much going on. That I know the promoter for the concert that Yaleen did a terrible performance in New York. She's actually Dominicana from Philadelphia, so I was getting it from that end of it, and all the social media from my Dominican fam up in New York, like, yo, she can't spit like live, like they booed her off stage basically, and that's her people. The whole thing was all women. That whole show was all Dominican women artists in the Dominican neighborhood. All the artists were getting love, and then she got on stage and did so bad that they all walked out and booed and said she don't got it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on. Is there any? Are there any other updates from Anuel at this point? I guess he's laying low after all the drama from the last several months.
No, he's been touring through Europe. He's been in Europe doing his thing,
making money.
Wow,
That's what he needs
Jailin
to do.
6ix9ine le estaban tirando. He's been on tour in Europe, España, un montón de cosas. Doing him. That's all you can do.
They don't want him
Yeah.
in Miami. They don't want him in New York. They don't want him in Puerto Rico. This boy, he's got to stay in Santo Domingo. There's nowhere else that wants him. Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I also feel like when they started tirándole a Anuel, they were trying to be or get relevant again, pero la
Yes.
gente se aburrió. Like even Yailin posteó una foto de Cataleya, her daughter, and nobody really cared because Anuel
Yeah.
already did. So ya le quitó la pauta. And honestly, like people are just sick of it.
Yeah.
I told myself I'm not posting any more drama because it's like catering to it, and it's just it gets old and it doesn't look good, and you're supposed to be artists and musicians. So like let's get the music going. Stop the drama and let's sing.
Very interesting. We'll talk about that later. The other person that wrote a very touching breakup song was Raul. So what do you call that? Hayami Hana. Yessi, my wife was particularly touched by this track. She's a big Raul person, and she thought it was very sweet and very touching. And her thing is, he's too good for her anyway. So break down this latest Raul track, saying goodbye to Rosalia.
So basically what people are saying is that she was the one that broke it off with him. Now this isn't confirmed or not, but they are saying that she suffers from like depression and like multiple personalities and stuff like that. So they're saying that it was too much for her. Again, this isn't confirmed nor the reason why they broke up. There were rumors saying that Raul had cheated, and he confirmed that he would never cheat, that that's not him, and that they both know what it was. Now, to the song, he's heartbroken. Like his heart is broken, and I really didn't like what Rolling Stone did because they wrote an article pretty much telling Raul Alejandro to keep his feelings to himself. And my point, like I even did a video, I'm like, my point to all of this is, why can Karol G do a breakup song and everybody's like, oh, y después cuando lo hace un hombre, no, you need to shut up. You can't talk about your feelings. Like, es machismo. And I don't think it's fair.
Now, were you able to confirm, because I saw some stuff online where some of her people were saying basically like Raul wasn't good enough for her and she's on another level. And were you able to confirm some of that? Because to me, that's almost like that culture vulture. I'm not big on Rosalia for a lot of reasons, but like that said, culture vulture. Like, oh, I said that Puerto Rican guy's a street guy. He's not big enough for her anyway. So did you pick up at any of those kind of dynamics, or what do you think ultimately broke? You have any idea what really broke them up?
I really think it was more like distance. Remember, they're both touring and they're both like doing concerts and they're all over.
Yeah, he's in PR a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like la vida de un músico es bien complicada when it comes to relationships. If there's no communication, if there's no trust, if there's no like, there's just so many factors to it that anything really could have broken them up. I say, sorry.
It's
I
okay.
say that for sure it was her that decided on this because
I agree.
she would have never, or Ra would have never made that song for her.
Yessi, you'll be right back. Let me talk to Jersey about this for a second. Jersey,
Yo.
to you and I. If you're Raul Alejandro, Pop, Alejandro A has a freaking blessing, bro. That boy, he got the world. I mean, the world's his oyster at this point. But like I say,
Claro. He could have any arepa he wants, and you know what type of arepa I'm talking about.
no, and then what was it? Like era una colombiana, the rumor, right? With the female.
Supuestamente era ahí que Shakira, because they saw them together somewhere. I don't know. And I'm like, please.
Shakira's getting around. Jimmy Butler. There's all kind of rumors for Shakira.
People,
She messing with a lot of young boys. You know, she messing with guys that could be her kid at this point.
Remember, them hips don't lie, dog.
All right, let's bring Yessi back in this conversation before we get in trouble. Yessi, so before we wrap up this segment, is there any other bochinche or any other stories that you're following you wanted to mention on this segment?
Well, talking about breakups, Britney Spears and her husband, Sam Asghari, supposedly are filing for divorce.
Oh, wow.
No more breakups.
Wow. Talk about a storyline we're tired of. Britney Spears, my goodness. Very cool. Very cool. Anything else, Jersey, on this segment? Anything else you're following? I know Anuel's doing his thing, and there's always stuff going on in Miami. I don't know,
As of right now, no, fíjate. Nothing out of the ordinary has been popping up, no? Like, social media has been quiet, kind of, sort of, lately.
Yeah, it's like everybody went on vacation. You're right about
that. Yeah, right?
Es que hubo tanto drama que la gente, got, blew up with their minds, and they're like, I don't want anymore. Let me take a break.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think people, to y'all point, and this is where we're going to talk about it, Piramide de Género, people are looking back now at the substance, and they don't, yeah, glam and bochinche is cool, but they want to hear the real music right now. Mm-hmm. So, and notice we went through a whole bochinche segment, but didn't talk about Bad Bunny. I think talk about a storyline we're tired of. Like, please leave these Kendall, like the Kendall Kim Kardashian hanging out. Nobody want to even talk about that. They're like, oh,
yeah.
Can we move on, please? Can we move on? So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear about a couple of other Latino musical legends that collaborated back in the days. I think y'all appreciate this clip. And then when we come back, we're gonna break down our reggaeton pyramid here on Bomba Live, the real list, not the list from the corporate music companies newspapers don't know what they're talking about. And we're gonna break down for the real reggaetoneros and people that love that género. So let's watch this clip and come back to Bomba Live, the show you've been waiting for. Do we have the Ricky Martin picture? We gotta show it. Come on, fam. We gotta show it. All right, Dios mío, look at that. Come on, Ricky and Betty, tell us this story, my friend.
Ricky Martin, Ruben. Actually, Sweet Sensation was on tour with Menudo for a minute. Okay. Cover Girls were on tour. It was Cover Girls, Sweet Sensation, Menudo at the time. This is right before Ricky left the group. That's Ruben right next to him, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah, we had so much fun being on tour with Menudo. Now, meanwhile, talk about surreal. I was 14 years old with my best friend from across the street, Sonia, scoping out all the hotels that Menudo was in because I was a big Menudo fan. I love Menudo. I still love Menudo. I can sit here and be like, Súbete a mi moto. I know all the songs. I have belt buckles and I have the jackets, and I loved Miguel from Menudo was my favorite until I fell in love with Johnny. So I know all about the